Okay, my Tyler Perry Sistas fans, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we're talking about season 6, episode 2, Full Circle Moments. And what we have to look forward to in this episode is Preston showing up for Danny when she needs him the most, but it doesn't seem to extinguish her anger toward him. We got Fatima. She sets Tamara straight about compensation for the role she's been tapped to play. We got Sabrina and Calvin trying to reason with a vengeful Maurice who just won't listen. We have Zach. He makes plans to meet with his son. So he calls his baby mama to make things, set things up. And then we got Aaron at the end trying to reach Karen by calling Pam. He should know better than that. So it starts with, Andy driving Danny home and Danny wanting to talk about Gary, and Andy's like, we're not talking about Gary. She's like, but y'all want to talk about me all night. They didn't want to talk about you all night, you know. But I like that Andy, reminded Danny and she let us know as well, that they love her and that all of them have taken turns in the hot seat since college. Meaning they really weren't picking on Danny. And I said that in one of my reviews. They all have gotten ganged up on, I remember Andy getting ganged up on, and I remember Karen getting ganged up on at one point. So that's why I was like, Danny, it's just your time. And the fact that she's telling us they've been doing it since college makes more sense. So Andy gets Danny home and goes straight to her fridge. Danny goes straight to the fridge, has no food in it, only bottles of wine and beer. That don't make no damn sense. You always smoking that pen. You don't got no money for food, but you got money for liquor and smoking weed or whatever. And girl, please. Anyway, she turns around and that fool Noah who spat on her is in her house. And I'm sitting there going, how the hell did he get in there? He had to pick a lock because she used her key and then threw the keys on the table when she walked in. Anyway, she tells him to get the F out of her house. And he's like, nah, it ain't even going down like that, baby. Sorry about that. You think I was going to let you get away with that? Then Danny busts him upside the head with that beer bottle that she had in her hand. She bangs his head into the fridge and pushes him over her dinner table and onto the floor. And then she reaches for the knives, but can't seem to grab just one. Ugh. It's like the white girls in the scary movie. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Preston had come to the door, heard talking and left, sat in his car for a minute, then decided to go back and heard the commotion. He breaks in the apartment door, grabs Noah off of Danny and starts beating his behind. And he starts kicking him and Danny's kicking him. And then he's like, no, that's enough. That's enough. You're going to kill him. I don't know nobody getting killed by them little kicks that they was doing. I'm sorry, y'all. But he need to be holding homeboy down and not holding Danny down. Danny should have you should have let her keep getting her kicks and licks off after what he did. You up there holding her. That part made no sense to me because the guy is laying there on the floor. He could jump up and run out the way I saw it. Anyway, I could be wrong. Y'all let me know down in the comment section. Anyway, we see later that Danny gives the police a report and says she has a restraining order on him. So then Preston tells Danny that he came back because he wanted to confront the guy who was in there. And I'm sitting there going, why? But he was saying he's glad he came back. And he said, I know you're glad I came back as well. So, but I'm like, why did you want to confront him? I thought you and Danny were supposed to speak, and that's why you were back there. So, maybe I'm confused about it, but I thought that's what it was all about. So he says he's going to stay. He taking off his shirt, and she's like, no, she wanted him to go. And he said, I don't care what you say, I'm staying. She's like, he said, I know you think you don't need me to stay, and that's fine, but I'm going to stay on this couch just in case anything happens, And then in the morning, oh no, Danny kept bringing up the girl Mindy. She kept saying, but what about Mindy and all of this stuff? And, he was like, I don't want to talk about it. Mindy knows how I feel about you and she's trying to say some mean stuff about Mindy. And I was like, stop. After all that went down, just stop saying negative stuff. And at first she was acting like ungrateful that he helped her and came back. But then she grabbed his arm, and said, thanks. So I was like, cool. Then we have Andy. She comes home and Gary's in her bed naked with his junk covered with rose petals. And he tells her that he's been a bad boy and should be punished. And anyway, she wants to punish him. And Andy says, oh, really? She said, okay. She said, so how have I punished you by having no sex? And he was like, oh, that would be a punishment. And she said, and then the second punishment would be, we need to talk. And so he was like, oh boy. And so they end up talking about, discussing Robin and how he came up to her job and trying to take over because she don't want him, but she's trying to control her, yada, yada, yada. And they went through that whole thing. So they got into a discussion. Where's the point? Andy told him he needs to leave. And he's like, are you for real now? And she's like, yeah. And then he was like, look, maybe, we tired. Let's just get some rest. And then, we could, go to bed and, leave in the morning. And she was like, okay, fine. You can sleep in the guest room. So that's where she sent his naked behind. And he was highly upset about that. Believe me, you can see it written all over his face. Then we have Calvin. He's showing up to Sabrina's house and he lets her know what went down between Maurice and Q and how Maurice shot him after confronting him at the airport. And Sabrina's like, oh my God, is he dead? And she's like, he could go to jail for this? And Calvin's letting him know, I told him that, but he don't seem to care. And she's like, I gotta call him. And at that moment, that's when Maurice showed up at her house and he comes in there and she's, fussing at him and stuff. And he really doesn't care. He don't even care what she has to say. He said he gonna take Q for everything he got. And she was like, Q ain't got nothing. That's what both of them are telling him. Calvin is telling him he doesn't have anything, so you're not getting anything. And then he said, you need to try to get our jobs back. And she's telling him she talked to corporate and they not trying to hear it and give them their jobs back. They want to make a full investigation. And she said, right now we're on leave. And he's like, leave means we're fired. She said, no, it means we're on leave. He said, it means we fired. They just say leave. This is Maurice. They're just saying leave because they don't want to get sued for firing us for this. So it's just like, oh boy. And so they're talking, Calvin and Sabrina are talking about Maurice right in front of his face. And Maurice doesn't like it, but it's like, it's the truth. And she reminds him, he started all this mess. That's why they don't have jobs. That's why everything is going on. He brought him to the bank. He brought him to his house and let him stay there, and he's feeling like they ganged up on him, but it's not that. It's just the truth of what went down. So then Maurice really thinks that he could get Q to tell the truth. And they're like, he's not going to tell you anything. He said, y'all are weak. He knows how to get the information out of him. And he's going to go and confront him. So then he asked Sabrina if she got any food. And he wants to eat and he's hungry. And she made him something to eat. And that fool had the nerve to talk about her cooking and try to say something like it's bad and act like he's throwing up. Doing stuff like that. I was like, boy, Sabrina need to get on his case. One, about how he talks to her. He called her hoe and bitch and heifer and everything else he was calling her in the book. And she's sitting there like, doing all of that. I would have been up there. I will never help you again, you fat slob or something. I would have said something. She need to go back at him, but she too soft. But he talks bad to her and Calvin. And those are the only two who's out there trying to help him. So it makes no sense to me. Anyway, then we have Zach and Fatima. He made her breakfast in bed, but she was already dressed and ready to go to work because she had an early deposition. And he tells her he's going to call Heather and wants to, be formally introduced to his son. And when Fatima leaves, he does call her and she's like, cool, you could come by anytime to see him since you've given me this paper. She wants him to come at 3 p.m. because she needs some sleep. Because she just got home at 6 o'clock and now it's 7 a.m., and Zach's like, well, if you're going to be asleep, who's watching his son? And she said, he got his tablet, his games and his TV. He'll be all right. I was like, dang. She's like, so come at 3. So Zach is like, this is crazy because nobody's watching him. If her sister's watching him at night and then she comes home and she sleeps, she got the baby just playing by himself. How she sleeping, how he eating lunch and stuff. Who feeding that boy? Heather lost her damn mind. Anyway, now we back to Danny and Preston. And Preston lets Danny know, she's waking up and he's letting her know that Noah posted bail or something, and he's not in jail anymore. She wants to know how he know, and he said he saw it on the police site. So he said he's going to send Mindy home and that he's going to stay with Danny. Danny's like, I don't need you to do that. He said, I know you don't need me to do that, but I'm going to do it. He said, because now that he posted bail, he could come back here. He said, well, why don't you stay with one of your friends or something like that? And she's like, I ain't letting him run me out of my house. I'm like, Danny being so stubborn, she need to stop. I think she just don't want them to know the magnitude of what's going on with this guy and what's happening. I wonder if she'll even tell her girls about it, you know? Anyway, Preston is like, I made you breakfast. You got 2 hours to get to work, get dressed and everything, whatever. And she's like, fine. You're gonna, fine, I'll do that. And he said, and I'm staying. She's like, okay, fine, or something like that. But I don't understand you people. He said, you people, yeah, you Caucasians, you white people. I said, Danny got to hang up with white people. That's why she's not with him. And I can't wait, like I said, until they give us the background on her life and what it is that happened. Because ever since that first time she went to the supermarket with Preston and those black girls were whispering and saying something, Danny ain't been the same with him. That's when she started shutting him down. She stayed in. They never went out or anything. Anywho, moving right along to Gary and Hayden. Gary's calling Hayden and they start talking about Robin. We don't know what in the world happened to Robin. What happened to Robin? Robin was supposed to come back at a certain time and he didn't, and TP just left us hanging. It makes no sense whatsoever to me. But they started talking about it and he's like, don't worry. They're saying, don't worry about it. You got this. This is what Hayden is telling Gary. And then he said, look, I got to go. I got something to take care of. And Gary's like, that girl's still there? And he still, see, Gary don't think that Hayden could pull a girl like that. And he's probably right. But he keeps insisting that, did you vet her? Yeah, I vetted her. Hayden ain't vet her, and Hayden ain't going to because Hayden's so scared that he going to find something and won't be getting under that nookie no more. That Tamara nookie is setting him on fire. He think he the man right now. He will do anything for this woman. Anything, I said. Anything. But what's so funny is Gary's telling Hayden, you need to vet her, because, you be going off the deep end sometimes. And Hayden's like, excuse you? Going off the deep end? He said, where you at right now? I'm at Andy's house. Right. You at Andy's house with the apartment you bought her. You talking about going off the deep end? I said, hey, they got a point there. It was so funny. So they hung up and then Andy came in there and Gary asked, can they talk about last night? And she's like, sure. And then they had a little discussion and then they left together to work. But I was sitting there going, Gary had a suit there at her house? Because I remember she said he couldn't leave no clothes. So I was curious where he get that nice suit on. Is that the suit he had on when he got there from the night before? Or maybe he planned to spend the night and brought clothes. But it was just so funny, So they left and she didn't want to talk about it anymore because they were disagreeing, honey. So they just agreed to disagree. Then it moves on to Sabrina telling Maurice to leave it alone. Leave that man alone. Talking about Q. All he going to do is make it worse. But Maurice doesn't even care. He's like, I'm going to the hospital and confront him and to get him to confess of what he did. But we know that ain't going to work. Then it switches over to Hayden and Tamara. And she keep talking about how he laid it on her last night, how he made her feel good and all this stuff. She just souping him up and everything. And he's talking about soon as he get into the office, he gonna see about that job he was trying to get her, at his at that company. And I said, Lord help her. This is so crazy. She was looking nice in that red outfit. I tell you, I need to get me one of those things. So anyway, he leaves for work. Goes or whatever he does, and Tamara calls Fatima. He ain't even get out of earshot, and she calling Fatima. It made no sense. He wasn't dressed with his suit on. I don't know where Hayden went to, but Tamara picked up and called Fatima, and was giving her an update. And Fatima seemed like she was annoyed that she was calling her. And when Tamara said something, he still wants me to be around and he wants me to give me that job and I could get a bigger payday and more money from this, And she asked Fatima, she thought there was going to be some pay in this deal that she was doing. She said, "Did my cousin ask you to do this for me?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "But I thought there was going to be a pay." And she said, "Ain't he giving you gifts?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Then that's your pay." She said, "But I could get more. I thought I could get more. I could take this man for everything." And she said, "That's not what I asked you to do." I mean, Fatima was funky with her. I mean, she was really funky. She said, "Well, I was just thinking." She said, "Look, I didn't ask you to think." I said, "Oh, Fatima, this is too much. This woman, yeah, she doing a lot for you for that all that attitude. She should be getting paid something, I would think. Wouldn't any of y'all put it down in the comment section. Wouldn't you think she would be getting paid something else? Dang." So they hang up and Fatima's like, "This girl," and Tamara's like, "Bitch, please. I don't know who you think you talking to." She said, "I'm about to get paid." She about looking out for herself right now. But I hope she don't mess up and Madam come and get her or something. You know what I mean? Anywho, it ends with Aaron calling Pam looking for Karen. And Pam's like, "How you get my number?" And he's like, "Have you seen Karen?" Like, he just ignored it. I'm like, dude, who the freak do you think you are? How you going to get her number? And when she asks you how you get it, you just going to ignore that and just like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. I'm trying to reach Karen. She said, "Well, did you call Karen?" "Yeah." "Did she answer?" "No." "Okay. Why don't you try texting her?" "I did that." "Okay, so she got your message and she read your text. And when she ready to talk to you, she'll talk to you. You the one come bringing some girl around there and coming at us and all this stuff." He said, "Look," he's like, Karen and I already spoke about that and stuff." She said, "So who is that girl?" And he was like, "It's none of your business." She said, "You made it my business when when she came at us." And then he's like still trying to get her to tell Karen this for me and tell Karen. She said, "I ain't telling Karen ish for you." She was like, "I ain't her secretary to be taking messages and stuff." He said, "Well, you sort of are." She said, "Not on my personal phone. I'm not." And she's not her secretary. She takes appointments for her at her job. And she the receptionist or whatever it is. I said, Aaron got a lot of balls and a lot of nerve to be sitting there thinking she's supposed to take his messages. It's only one night. You just talked to Karen last night. Why you sweating her? That's why she don't want to be bothered with you, because you all over her. You're smothering her. You're suffocating Karen. If she talked to you last night and you done left a message, okay, let it go. And at that point, I was loving Pam. Every answer she gave him and every way she treated him had me laughing like, I hear you, girl. I mean, this the longest scene Tyler ever had Pam have outside of that salon. That was like a 2-minute scene back and forth. So he's giving her more play and on the screen. And I love that about, Tyler. That was really nice. But what got me is Aaron had the nerve to act like Pam is frustrating him. Talking about, "I don't even know why you call me." Pam said, "I don't know either." And then she told him, "You fine and cute and everything, but lose my damn number." I said, "Oh, snap." Pam funny. But then as she was saying bye to him and hanging up, she looks up and she sees the salon on fire. She go, "Oh my God, the salon." But it can't still be on fire because it's morning. And you hear Aaron going, "What is it, Karen? I mean, Pam, what is it?" And that's how it went off, y'all. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the like button, the thumbs up button, then write a comment and share my video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying I'll see you in the next video. Peace.